All right, well, hi, ladies and gentlemen. These teams started on us mighty quickly before the intro even got ready, so I guess I'll just introduce ourselves right off the bat. I'm Palidore, TutorialBot here at my side. This is Backlash versus Vision.
Yeah, that's right. We've got Vision versus Backlash today. Fortunately for us, it does look like they had a little issue of their own, so it's a little bit of delayed start, which is fine because I was a little bit premature with my readying up anyway. But I think we're going to be starting again because we had a slight technical issue with one of the players. I didn't get to hear quite what that was. But yeah, we've got the seasoned pros, Backlash and Vision, a new team with some new players and some people we've seen before. Obviously, prediction-wise, I very much expect this to go in favor of Backlash, but anything can happen. And Vision they're discovering themselves right now, so they're figuring things out.
And hopefully figuring out this rule set and the launch and stuff is gonna prove to be the right rule set after that reset. We've seen this issue a few times. Nonetheless, see how this goes on the rollout. Vision's gonna take that disc. It's Dage looking up to Lowrider. Lowrider looking for that bubble, but it's going to be taken back by Torin. Of course, Backlash saw them play yesterday versus Quackheads to great success.
So a little bit of a slow build-up right now. I think the Dage got scraped off the stack, so it's going to likely be an attack now from Backlash. It's actually a missed pass back down to Nilly. It seems to just float straight through his hand, but Sundance is there to collect it anyway. He has got Torrent at the top. It's a dangerous place for him to be, and he's going to pass down to Lego, who thinks about putting it away, but Dage denies that, clearing it down court, and now we're going to have a bit of a race going on, and I think Backlash are going to be the first ones there, and they are safely. So Torrent from Backlash will start up again with a long pass down to Nillywick, who goes for the extreme shot and gets it with an early three-pointer. Very nice shot from him.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Just lined that one up, sent it through for that first 3 points of the game. Nillywick, one of those players we saw in the show match the other day, as well as Dage on the other side. So now rolling out, it's going to be Vision with that disc, with the Vision on Lowrider over in that lower tunnel. Gets the cross pass to Alley Dark, and she's going to bring it up. You see this anchored player on the other side, but it's going to be a turnover, actually. Sundance trying to create that, actually, just briefly. And then the stack quickly from the back line. It's going to be Nilly and Torin finding the disc. Nilly's going to look for a bounce and recollected by Sundance. Sundance looking on the Nillywick, anchored over there on the bow tie. Torin's going to go down low. Sundance to the shield. Looking to anchor, looking for a pass. And at last, it will be the dunk. So
It's actually
Lego.
very decent defense there from Vision. They had a lot of vision, but unfortunately, eventually, that one guy behind the goal got through. And as long as that person is free, if he's the free pass, if that player is the free pass, it's usually going to be conceded to a goal.
Yeah, in the match yesterday that I watched of Backlash, they executed that backboard pass specifically in that spot right at the top of that backboard, and then the pass coming from that shoulder area in the corner on the edge of the bubble. It must be a set play of theirs because they went to that well over and over, and it really worked out for them quite a bit. Ooh, nice duck, Nilly.
Oh, tries for another one, getting punched out by Dage there. Sometimes 2 ducks is just a few too many. And yeah, to answer your question, they do very much have their own kind of favorite little positions, but it will be a ding from that close. That's a panicking moment right now if they don't end up getting those points. And it now looks like they're going to actually have to start the entire build again. But this time it will be someone from the other team that's behind the goal. And I think Torrin just got his hands on it and managed to get his name on the board, but it will be Vision with points on the board.
Yeah, that one working out, they kind of went to that same backboard play that we've seen from Backlash. So Vision, with their eyes on the play sets for Backlash and using that to their own success as well.
Absolutely, yeah. You'll often find that Backlash have a couple of people at the top mid, a couple of people behind on pillar, and Lego's just going to go straight for that shot there. It does bounce off, but it bounces in favor of his team, and Torin will put that one away for another 2.
Nicely done from Torin. 7-2 lead thus far. We're looking at a 3 points on the board for Nilly, and then Torin and Lego with 2 apiece. as Dage rolls out. Looking for that pass to Lowrider. Lowrider's going to find Ali, who sends it right back immediately to Lowrider and then forward. Nice passing plays from Vision right now. Kind of in that short range, mid-range area.
Really unfortunate that that disc didn't end up in Ali's hands then. I think it was just out of her reach, because that was some really nice passing from them. Just like you said, they really found each other in good places, and they found good passes as well. It just didn't manage to be finished in the end. And now it will be Backlash that have the attack again. Ali Dark is punched out, but it's going to be a safe pass down up to Backlash's next person behind. Pushed again. Again, look at the defense from Vision. This is causing a little bit of a problem. I can see that Backlash are not getting through as easy as they would hope. But they are slow passing right now to try and obviously finish that goal. And it will be the person behind the goal again, Torin, to get the points on the board.
That was quite nice. Gotta love the recovery off that first miss. And then just went right back to their bread and butter above that backboard, like you said. And see that chemistry and that patience playing off for Backlash. They got 9 points as we approach the halfway point of this first round.
Ali taking, I think it was, I can't tell if that was a pass or a shot. It was kind of halfway in between the two, but the goal actually was open, so it could have been something. But the disc is free at the moment, and then it's stolen by Ali Dark, but punched out just as she's about to do something dangerous with it. And good thing they did as well, because I'm pretty sure she's been sinking a lot of those long shots recently. That could have been some 3 points on the board. So now it's going to bounce up. It might just be Virtuals from Vision that gets it. And it's going to get punched out, unaware that Sundance was looming, who finds his teammate Torin. But the stacking is very fast now from Vision as they get back into their own defensive play.
Yeah, trifecta of Vision players all stacking in. Lego trying to wheel it in there through all that defense, but slapping that out is Dage. Still taken back by Torin from Backlash, finding that bottom pass, just missing the hands of his teammate, but still another intercept, so great positioning from Backlash, covering all those passing lanes, all those clear lanes. Sundance trying to find that cutting lane. Nilly cannot find the goal, but another rebound yet again, and finally on the putback attempt after maybe 4 tries, getting that goal for 11 points on the board.
It's interesting because Backlash are trying to do quite a bit of ducking and juking right now, and Vision are having none of it. I don't think I've seen it completely work out for them against Vision quite yet. You know, again, I think defensively right now, these guys are doing really well. It's a bit of a surprise QB to Ali. I don't think she was quite ready for that. I think the kind of left right actually confused their own team as much as anyone else, although it was accurate. And now it's going to be a sort of clear as it sort of bounces around in the halfway. It could be a hero shot. He's going to go for the pass instead. Torin looking for his option, which would be Niliwick. He's going to go for the safe pass back, but that is not where his team is in that very moment in time. So it will be Lowrider with it, but if he's... Oh, great block there. Fantastic stuff. If he hadn't done that, that guarantee would have been in the hands of Backlash again. But as the disc went free, it ended up being in their hands nonetheless.
And into the corner pocket it goes. The stack from Backlash on the attack, on the shot, but it will not get in. And also the stun, so great coverage there from Lowrider. But Lego just as well, the positioning there in the back line. The nice pass to Torin on the open goal, cannot capitalize on that one as well. Sundance, another rebound. Backlash, the rebound machines, the backboard machines. Torin, the scoring machine, getting that for 13 on the board.
So it's the same trick that's getting through every single time. Vision need to prioritize marking the guy at the back. And I know how that can feel when there's a guy behind you. You feel like, well, I need to get the guy who's in front because he's got the disc. But if he gets the disc to the guy behind, or the girl, it can be a problem. So they need to start marking that person and stay on them.
Absolutely. Even if you just have to force them to a different spot on the backboard, you just don't want them to get overly comfortable with that same spot. And they've went to that so many times, the great success. You see some of these drives, they're missing their first shots, but they're getting the rebounds, and they go right back to that same spot, and it's paying off in a huge dividends for them.
This passing from Vision is really good. Like, really good. Like, you wouldn't expect a new team to pass like this. And look at the finish as well. That was some incredible moving. Their positioning was fantastic there. And they were all different levels. So you had Ali on the floor near the bottom of the shield. You had Vision near the top. You had Dage in the middle collecting the disc. I mean, that was really good stuff. That's the sort of thing you see from the much higher up, higher tier teams.
Yeah, that was excellent. And We've seen this even on the North American side as well. All teams, it seems like worldwide, have upped their game so much on this team play, on this passing play, and shooting it for that three-point play. Low Rider. 13-7.
Finding themselves with an open goal, and Low Rider doesn't let that one go for another 3 points. And this game has not been the blowout that I expected it to be. Maybe Backlash are not putting their foot down on the pedal quite as hard as they often would, but I mean they should. So let's find out.
Yeah, we will. And on the bring up on the attack, it's going to be Sundance in the back now, receiving that first pass. Let's see if they go back to this backboard play. The stun on the goalie, indeed, and actually a three-point shot as a result. Now, Ali did get a head on it. It'll still count as a three, but that was some great awareness from Ali Dark, almost saving that one. But Torn getting the brawl on her to make that one go through.
Yeah, there was nothing she could do there. This is the thing with 4v4 is it's a lot harder to pay attention to the amount of people that are around you. And as a goalie, you're just finding yourself getting punched out a lot more in those attacks. And even after getting punched out, she still managed to get ahead on it just because, you know, she had not given up. Again, some good passing, some nice levels here from Virtual. Again, there's always a stack at the moment.
Oh.
Almost in. I think that was just going into the right-hand corner there. But what you see right now is Backlash have got a kind of double defensive stack system going on, which does leave a couple of gaps open. The attempted shot there, I think, by Nillywick does actually ding. And it is a good clear as well from Vision. So that will put the scores at 16 to Backlash and 7 to Vision. And honestly, I thought that was a very good game. I mean, this wasn't, you know, necessarily as one-sided as I expected. And regardless of anything, some really, really good moving and passing around. Like, this is the first time that I've seen Vision play and pass around like a potential top team. I mean, I'm not suggesting they will be a top team, but with anything, with these seasons, with 4v4, with some of these new players, you know, learning the game like Low Rider and Virtual, they've not been playing at the top level for that long. We really don't know where the standings will be. I've seen surprises in the season. I remember when Backlash were a team that never ever beat Aftershock, and Aftershock were a team that never really made it out of that third and second place, and yet now Backlash are considered a top, if not the top team, depending on various things. So it can change.
Right, and they made it quite far in competition last season, and nothing else, they impressed me. I remember watching a lot of their games. Most of them, you know, you and Molaran and VR Jersey were casting those ones, and I was always so impressed by the passing and the team chemistry on Backlash and how good they were with that.
The interesting thing about Backlash is they were the first team in EU to adopt a more NA style, even in the 3v3s. So they were a very heavy pass team, which of course, you know, suit everyone is having to be forced into now with the 4v4. But they were the first kind of EU team to really adopt that. A bit of a fighting going on in the middle right now, and it will actually be Low Rider from Vision who gets it first. The disc doesn't quite make it to where he wanted to. Ali with the nice fast pass that if he calculates that bounce, it could work out. It's not going to be the ideal rebound. Ali there with the pickup though, ready for the setup. So nice pass down to Low Rider. Virtual's in a good place as well, but he's not able to quite get hold of it. Dage was also in a very dangerous place, but we're going to look like a clear and boost situation now. And I'm not sure who's going to get it first. It looks like it's going to be missed by Vision, but Virtual not giving up there with the fighting. And now with the safe pass back, I believe they're going to start their attack again. But Ali finding the disc, denying it from being in that area. And anyway, just putting it away after that lovely little build-up. He ends up finding it on the shield and just took the 1v1.
Yeah, high percentage shot opportunity anytime you manage to take it from that shield area. So rolling out.
Very dangerous place.
Will be Vision. Cannot quite score. Seems like their defense has been good at times, but the problem is always the second, the third attempts, the fourth attempts, especially in that first round. On this one, maybe, though, the first attempt is going to go in without too much issue. And that will be Torin from 39 meters deep. Wow. Off that bounce.
Yeah, there was no one in goal, so he took a calculated clear that worked out to be a calculated goal. And now it'll be Dage again. Oh, holding on to it for a little bit too long there. Lego not able to actually finish it. Maybe it'll be Sundance though, but there is now one goalkeeper. I think he's going to put that one away for a safe 2. I have seen Dage do that before. Sometimes he can be really maneuverable as the QB, but he can also hold it for too long sometimes. And a team like Backlash, they have a lot of strategies and some surprise strategies, and you definitely don't want to hold it too long against these guys.
Yeah, I agree, and, well, we'll see if they can adjust on this rollout this time, not lose a disc. Now, the pass was a bit earlier, but the accuracy on it not quite there, so Nillywick is going to capitalize on it as a result to go up 10-0. Double digits now.
Yeah, it's interesting. It looks like Dage has actually gone back in goal again. It was my personal opinion, and I'll re-emphasize personal opinion, that he was much better up front as a striker. I think sometimes his QBs are amazing, and then sometimes they don't work out, like there, for example. But you know, it's interesting to see him going back into a defensive position. It's just a bit of a shame because I was really excited seeing him pushed up front. He was really shining there. But I mean, maybe defense is just a position he wants to play.
Yeah, that's a possibility. I know for me, I want to stay in that goal as little as possible, to be honest. There was a time where I had about maybe a month or so of really good goalkeeping, and then after one of the off seasons when I didn't play for just a couple weeks, I completely lost all that instinct. It's not natural to me. So anyone who's great at goalkeeping, which is to say a lot of European players, as this dunk goes on through, assisted by Nillywick. But anytime you see these great goalies, nothing but respect for me, because that is so out of my natural wheelhouse and inclinations.
And it's weird because I had the absolute opposite. I spent the first 2 proper seasons being a striker, and then found my calling when I had to replace Affenter on Gravity as a goalie, and I'm way better at saving goals than shooting them, especially now I have a Rift S. In any case, Stage trying to get rid of the disc, not quite able to, as Torren has got it in his possession, throws it. It's not going exactly where he wants it, but it will be his team that has it now. And it's going to be taken by Virtual, who gets a pretty good bounce on it. Should work out for him. No, Nillywick is going to be the one to get it now. Lego building up on the floor. He's going to find Sundance, who's probably going to go straight for it. Does, gets it past Stage, and that's another 2 points on the board. And now we are looking at a sort of score that we expected. But again, I will say this, as I said, you know, with the other game the other day, Vision showed some good little insight into, you know, some great passes, some great plays, some great positioning, and what they can actually do. But they're just a new team.
Absolutely.
They've got to learn this stuff.
And see, it's one of those things right there as well, just the early pass unforced because of the stack hanging over in the back line. So threw it into their hands, and now 19 points, approaching that mercy situation if Vision cannot score on this play.
Yeah, it's really tricky. Because the thing is, what's happening right now is Backlash essentially have 2 stacks, and they're prepared. They've covered the same arena with 2 stacks, and finding where to put that QB is just really difficult. That is a smart thing, though. Low rider, like, not quite so deep, giving it an easier pass. Dage got the disc again, passing down. Unfortunately, intercepted there, but the disc is loose. Maybe it'll be someone from Vision that can get it. No, it will be Torren. He's going to throw it away. And now it's going to be a little bit of a race to see who'll get there first. Looks like it'll be Backlash, and it is for another 2 points, and that will now be the mercy. Now, I did remind them about the mercy rule. Maybe they're going to use it. I think they are. So we should be going into our 3rd round now.
Yeah, looks like it. So that will be a 20-0 after the initial round where that was pretty close, tightly knit between the 2 teams, at least for a while there. But much improved. Backlash, recollecting there, adjusting.
Yeah, and you know, it's really interesting because no matter what happens now, like I said, that first round, no matter how good or bad Backlash were playing, the passing and the positioning from Vision was good. It was really good. You know, they weren't all on one level. They were completely spread out. You know, I think Backlash were very much favoring a sort of split defense right now, when traditionally they were the man mark kings. And they could be just trying things, or it could be something that they actually do now. I'm not really sure. I don't think it was working out for them too well against this team early on. That's why the score wasn't quite the landslide that you would maybe expect. And I can't really see if they've changed it too much now, but I do know that the stacks that they're doing when Vision QB is causing them problems. And it is a hard thing to do. And I think Vision need to come up with some safe passing. I think that's exactly what they just did. They had I think Lowrider and Virtual pushed up, closer to the QB, and that is basically what we're gonna have to do against a stack, because if they try and clear it deep, it's gonna get caught.
Absolutely, and I recognize that too in Backlash's game yesterday. The problem with their offense causes so much pain for the other team because, yeah, those stacks, actually both on offense and defense, they're just all over the floor. You get rid of one, there's another still looming. I even noticed that in that last play there on the other side. Now coming in for the shot is Lego, getting that one quickly, 16 seconds into the clock. I noticed it on the very last play. The second to last play, they threw the pass too early into the midfield, and there was the first stack awaiting, and then it was just intercepted. And then the next time around, they adjusted for it by not throwing it until too late. Ali was QBing there. She actually broke up that first stack, got the pass off. But then on the back line, it was the second stack that was messing with them.
So it looks like one player has dropped. I think it's Dage. Either that or he's accidentally gone into spectator mode, which also sometimes happens.
Yeah.
As I do see 3 spectators right now, and I don't see Dage. And not really sure what's going on. I think he's figured it out. Yes, he has. He's done it. It happens to the best of us, and it is very, very frustrating to fly back from spectator mode.
It's the Echo Arena walk of shame when you do that.
It's exactly what that is. And the worst thing is you can hear everyone laughing at you respond as you're like in this little third dimension stuck, being all ashamed of yourself, but amusing nonetheless.
And then, I don't know, it's funny to me. I've done it plenty myself as well. But
I still do it.
The buttons are so large. It's just funny that we're fat fingering those buttons of all the things.
It's interesting because I think Team Switch and Spectate buttons actually they changed places at one point. So this was happening to me a lot. Unless they didn't change places, and I'm just gone a bit crazy, but I'm pretty sure they switched over. In any case, switching over now to the third round. Hopefully we won't have any drops before. And it will be, once again, Backlash that gets to the disc first. But it looks like Vision are chasing it right now, and they're going to have to chase it faster because Torren puts that one away early from behind the goal, where I think probably about 80% of his goals are very early on for 2 points.
And an efficient manner there off the joust. It was actually pretty close between Backlash and Vision, but just edging them out was Backlash, and Torren ultimately scoring that one for his team. Ali is going to take that now. So watch this first stack in that back line, trying to play monkey in the middle. Do not break the stack up, so it's going to continue to encroach upon them. But see that second stack, the one that we're talking about. So efficient, so on point with a pass, but nice grab by Dage. That was great hands there to prevent what was undoubtedly going to be a 3-point conversion otherwise.
Sundance building up now with his team, pulling up to Lego. It's not quite caught by him. It will be caught with Dage. It looks like it's going to be a clear, so it's going to have to be a little bit of a race between the two. It might just be Vision first. Lowrider goes for it, but Nillywick gets in the way of that one to deny the points on the board for the other team. And now it looks like it's going to be the other way around, as there's no one currently in goal for Vision, but Ali finds her way back there naturally. A little bounce pass over to Torren, a little back pass now over to Nillywick, and the attack is on. Sundance not marked, and it looks like Nillywick might be free on the shield as well. Nice little save there from Lowrider, pushing forward, leaving the goalkeeper behind. But the disc is going to be collected by Backlash again, as their stacking right now is supreme over Visions because they have so much experience with it. And now it looks like an open goal, open shot by Sundance for 3 more points on the board. And just a little note I wanted to talk about regarding Ali's QB. So when playing against a lot of the teams, including Blast, that use the Blast Joust, which is where you have a stack, she learned very early on to actually pushing off to the side gives her more time to find a gap. Now, the disc is slower by doing that, but it does usually mean that she finds someone easier without being intercepted. But in this case, I think it was the pass that was intercepted, which led to the Sundance having himself an open 3-pointer.
And it's been the story for a lot of this match is that defense, that second stack, and that was the same case yesterday. But you can see the potential from Vision there. Obviously, they're showing a lot of good things, especially in that first round. Wolf23 over in chat a little while back was saying, you know, the pieces are there. It's just putting them together, and I absolutely agree. It's just finding that chemistry and finding kind of that secondary organization. They got the right idea on the first attempts, but it's like with Backlash, they have the first plan and then they have the contingency plan right after, and that's always what's working out for them.
Yeah, I mean, Backlash, as I said, are a very experienced team, and Lego has always been their substitute and always played with them. Another 3 points from Sundance there. Lego and Sundance, they were on a team together. Nillywick and Lego have been on a team together. Torrin, obviously, has been on Backlash for a long time. They're essentially, in one combination or another, been a four-man team.
Right, and Nilly, if I recall, he was someone who came into the team when they were called Ouroboros right at the end of the season.
That's right. That's correct. Ouroboros, Cerebus, you name it. They have had different names, but with community pressure, we've been able to get them back to the original name, Backlash. And Lego there with a nice 2-pointer. And right now, what's happening is Backlash's jousts that their stacking they were doing in defense in the first round wasn't working amazing. But right now, from the QB, it's working too well. And really what Vision need to do is kind of what they're doing now. They need to find shorter passes. They need to maybe have someone go for that stack, because what's happening is there's two of them, right? And they're just intercepting it over and over and over. But the passing and positioning is very good. Ali looking for someone on her team right now. Manages to find Lowrider. Nice little pass back to him. Trying to get it through, but there was a really fast stack on Ali, so she had to just get rid of it the best way she can. And now we're back into that danger zone because these two stacks have not let go. It's a ding from Sundance as he's denied another 3-pointer, but he'll pass that up. Nice defense there from Lowrider. Getting that guy behind the goal finally, and that denied them those 2 points. Maybe he's going to get something away with this, but it looks like it's going to be a little bit of a fight first. Backlash having none of it.
Man, I like just how quickly these teams back and forth. It seems just the pace of that, the speed into that shot is Torrin, the speed of which they're getting down the floor on both sides really is just incredible to me. It's so fast paced. Every side of the arena just being covered by bodies.
That's right. A Lowrider there, just getting a punch off on Torrin, a fraction of a second too late. But I feel like he's got Torrin's number right now in terms of that behind the goal thing. I think Lowrider seems to be the one that's picked up that I need to cover this guy because he is scoring goals back there. And he did it just before, and then he almost did it just then. And I'd like to see him staying on that guy, staying on Torrin from behind the goal for the rest of this round.
Seeing on the approach with 15, they're 5 away from that Mercy in this third round. And on the backboard again, but saved nicely by Ali.
Amazing save.
Great grab on that one.
That is not an easy save to do at all. From behind the goal, that is a very rare save indeed. And I'm sure it felt better than it even looked, and it looked good.
Now behind the backboard, into the goal though, and off Ali's head it would seem. So that was good adjustment by Vision. They recognized that backboard pass. They went up to stun it out, and then recognizing that one, Sundance on the approach, just dumped it into the goal instead.
Yeah, that's right. And right now, what's happening is Vision are feeling out these teams. They're learning things. And this is what's really, really nice to see. Like, I'm already seeing a small evolution in their teamwork, in the marking that guy at the back. I've seen a change of QB from Dage to Ali a few times. They're adapting to this, which is nice, which is very good to see. Lowrider now needs to find his pass. It will be Dage. He doesn't quite manage to get his hands on it, which is a shame because that was a nice little setup. And now it looks like Backlash are going to do their thing once again as the disc is free with an open goal. Nillywick will put that away dead center of the goal for another Mercy. But I have to say, actually very entertaining game. Really, really interesting things that Vision have shown. Like, I really wouldn't... Again, we expected them to lose, as I said early on. But they've shown enough of this They've shown enough that they can actually pass together as a team really well, find good positionings, and more importantly, adapt to the play. They're countering.
I agree entirely. It's, again, just that the secondary actions. It's the rebounds, it's the recoveries. So very well done by Backlash, showing that they are a well-oiled machine in this season of competitive play and VRML. But Vision, just like so many other teams in this league that I've seen, having streamed and casted all but one game so far, I've been consistently impressed by just the level of play and how much it's improved over the seasons. And even looking at like right now, the teamwork is there, the concepts are there. A lot of the times these teams who are finding themselves at the disadvantage are, as much as anything, just largely because of the mechanical execution and just, you know, figuring out the exact timings on the passes or figuring out the exact, you know, way that they should position out at certain times. But the concepts are all there, and I feel like that'll come together more and more over the course of the season, if nothing else.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. And like I said, you know, I didn't just watch the team just get destroyed over and over again. I saw windows of really interesting things. I saw some great passing. The positioning was really good. You know, they're a very defensive team. I think, you know, Dage is currently the goalkeeper, but Ali actually spent a long time being a goalkeeper for substituting for a lot of top teams. She was actually the we used to call her after sub, because she helped my team with Slyn and Matty one by one, substituting for Slyn and then substituting for Matty, actually being the goalkeeper most of the time. And she made great saves and she made great shots as well. So it doesn't really matter which one of those two is in goal, they can both save them. And obviously they just need to figure out who's going to be the striker and how that's going to work. In any case, that was the game. It went pretty much as we expected, but like I said, the Vision showed some fantastic vision and gave us some very entertaining moments.
And Backlash showed us some back sass. Just had to get one in there at least. But it was an impressive watch. Their team is one that I'm looking forward to watching more over the course of the season on the European side, and as well as many others. But I've always been, as I said, kind of a sucker for just the team play, the passing plays. Those ones always give me those goosebumps every time I see a really great one happen. And Backlash, it's pretty much a regular thing with them.
That's right. Well, thank you very much, my friend, for joining me today and doing both the casting and also the streaming and camera work. It's not an easy thing to do, and Europe thanks you as well. So
my pleasure. And you know what? Thank you for carrying a lot of the play-by-play. That helped me a lot. I think the room you gave me to do camera work more this time reflected pretty well. I got some sweet shots in there. Hopefully people appreciate, you know, that stuff and clip that stuff, because I think we got a lot of sweet action shots. I mean, montage worthy even. But certainly couldn't have done that without Tutorial here at my side and doing a great job on casting and bringing the analysis as always. Just so much insight. Definitely appreciate it. And yeah, with that said, Tutorial, you can close us out now and we'll join us back for the future matches here. We're going to have some more later on tonight, as well as another European match, I believe, in an hour or so. But yeah, Tutorial, take it away.
Awesome stuff. Well, thanks very much for watching. This was TutorialBot, Palidore, and we will be doing this again as a 2 very, very soon. So thanks for watching. Peace.